All right. First off, welcome everybody. Let me just check on a couple of settings here and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Where is my, make sure I got the right mic here. Yep, we got the right one. You can all see me. Lucky you. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and get into the presentation. Well, first off, welcome. Welcome. I'm excited that you're here, that we get to spend the next hour or so together. My name is Josh Shanley. I'm the co-founder of Client Alchemist, and I've got a great training class for you today, a great presentation, one that I know you're going to get a lot of value from and get a lot of excitement out of and motivation from as well. Specifically, I'm going to walk you through a process that we call dynamic appointment acceleration, and how Jim, one of our clients, attracted 22 leads and 3 listing appointments in only 3 days, all during a holiday week nonetheless. Now, I'm also going to give you lots of examples of many other folks besides Jim, right, that got these results. So it's not something unique or special to Jim per se. We're just going to use Jim as a case study and show you exactly the pieces of the puzzle for him. We're gonna break down his specific results, okay? And you can see this is actually a screenshot of Jim sharing some of these results in our private clients only Facebook group. He said, my ad started on Monday. I've already gotten 20 leads. He ended up with 22 the first run through. I've personally spoken with a handful, have 3 appointments for listing, and my team is working on some buyer leads. I'm blown away. Really good stuff on that. Now, let me take a minute or two and just go through how we can both get the very most from our time together today. So first and foremost, let me know, please, can you hear me and can you see the screen? So can you hear me and can you see the screen? You can use the Q&A box and just let me know in there if you can hear me and you can see the screen. Looks like we're good, and don't hesitate to also throw in there where you might be tuning in from. Okay, Jim in Michigan, and Daphne in Florida, Lisa, another part of Florida, someone from Ontario, Calgary, Alberta, California, that's cool. Let's see here, Texas, Austin, Texas, Chicago area. Good. Okay, so it seems like we're good to go there. I appreciate everyone with that. Number two, do me a favor and yourself a favor, the favor of removing all distractions or potential distractions. So turn your phone on vibrate, close down any other browsers you might have open, close your door, maybe even lock your door, and give me your undivided attention for the next 60 to 70 minutes. And I'm going to promise you to bring a lot of energy and a lot of value to you. And all I ask in return is that you give me that undivided attention for that time. Number 3, remain open-minded and willing to have a mindset shift and breakthrough. Most likely you're on this call right now because you're looking for a new result in your business. You're looking for something. You want help. The only way that is going to find you, the only way that can come to fruition for you is if you're willing to allow that to happen. Number 4, I will stay on for live Q&A at the end of the call, and I'll give you a way to get all of your questions answered, if not then, by myself or someone on my team. Okay, so let's take a minute or two, and actually, here's what I want to do now. I'm going to, because I find this distracting for myself, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video feed, and I'm going to go into presentation mode and continue for there. So here's who this is for and then who it isn't for, okay? This isn't for you if you're an agent who believes it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, or if you're someone who's looking for a quote-unquote magic pill or easy button. This isn't for you if you're someone who focuses on the short term and or is content with just another sales job, J-O-B, just over broke. This is for you, though, if you're an agent who is willing to work hard at mastering your craft, is focused on playing the long game. Focused on playing the long game. And if you are someone who's ready to build a real, scalable, and predictable business, one that allows you to sell more homes while actually working less. So, for those of you wondering, you might know me, you might not know me. I'm just going to take a few minutes to introduce myself and give you my backstory as to what led me here right now and what makes me qualified to even be giving this training, right? And trying to help you. Again, my name is Josh Shanley. I'm the co-founder of a company called Client Alchemist. You can check us out at clientalchemist.com. I have been helping, training, serving, coaching the real estate industry since 2007, 2008, somewhere in that neighborhood. I've personally also sold as an agent and as a real estate investor, hundreds of transactions. And so what we're going to be walking through today isn't theory or fluff or anything like that. It's how I've created success, and it's how I've now helped hundreds and even thousands of other real estate professionals as well. This is a picture of my family. I've happily married for over 15 years now. I have 4 children, ages 12 on down to 5, and they are my greatest blessing. They are why I do what I do. And they're why I want to help you as well. Over the years, I've been incredibly blessed to share the stage with folks like Gary Keller. This was at Mega Agent Camp a number of years ago, speaking in front of, 9,000 or 10,000 people. And that's been an honor and a pleasure for me. I've spoken on stage at other events as well over the years. I've been incredibly blessed in so many ways to be able to help agents generate, attract, and close a ton more business. Now, it was not always this way, however. This is a picture of our family home, and it's kind of, it's set up for Christmas, but that was just the nicest picture I could find of the property, or the picture of our home that I like the best. I would consider this home, and I promise I'll get into why I'm sharing this. I would consider this my dream home, our dream home, especially as someone who grew up. Growing up, I lived in multiple different houses, several of which were so old and broken down, they no longer exist anymore. They've been torn down. And the quote unquote nicest one was one that we also ran a family nursery and landscaping business out of. So I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or anything remotely close to that. And so I have considered this our dream home. Is it a mansion? Is it gigantic or anything like that? No, but for us, it's home. And sadly, though it is our dream home, at one point, what feels like not that long ago, but at this point is 9 or 10 years ago, it was like I was living a nightmare because I was going to have to list our home. I remember it very vividly. And we were going to have to move in with my in-laws. Blessed enough to have in-laws that would even have us. But those of you who have in-laws, you can imagine what kind of potential nightmare that may be. And here's the reason why. I had caught the entrepreneurial bug, and I was chasing after the freedom and the success that goes along with that. But I was chasing all the wrong things. I kept hitting dead end after dead end after dead end. And I kept having people who were supposed to be my mentors tell me that, well, you just got to make more phone calls. You just got to knock on more doors. You just got to work harder. And I just, my frustration grew and grew and grew. But I also had hope because I knew that there was a better way to build a business that not only, a way to build a business that not only could be grown and scaled without having to actually work more, but could be done so in a way that is both pleasurable to the business owner and to the potential consumer, one that didn't involve having to cold call or make a list of all your friends and family, or go and knock on doors and chase and beg after business. And I can tell you that there's a happy ending to the nightmare, because after continuing to learn and grow and chase after that dream, I've been able to make that dream a reality. I kind of figured out the principles that I'm going to share with you today, and I've since been able to turn that into multi-million dollar businesses. And I've since been able to help many other real estate agents like yourself and real estate professionals all throughout the US and Canada over the last 10 plus years. And it has allowed me, this process, these principles have allowed me to do and have the kind of freedom that I originally was dreaming about. The kind of freedom to be able to coach my kids. I've been, this is my oldest right here. This is after he just absolutely demolished a baseball for a home run. And that's me coaching third. If you can't tell, I'm a little excited. But it allows me to do the things that I love, which one is coaching him. I've been able to coach him from a very young age. This is my oldest daughter. I got to coach her last year, and I've gotten to coach them in many different sports. I've been able to take them on wonderful trips like the one that this one was taken from, which was us spending a week in Disney. And we've been there, I don't know, 5 or 6 times as a family. It allows me to never miss a school event or function. It allows me to do things like in my daughter's class right now, I'm teaching a program called Junior Achievement. It has created freedom for me in my life to prioritize the things that are priorities for me. And I want to give you that power today as well. So what is this idea of dynamic appointment acceleration? Okay. And I'm going to take a couple minutes and just break down the three words that make it up and give you a better idea of what it means. So dynamic, it describes how we do things from a targeting, an ad, and a message perspective. And I'm going to show you those examples of Jim's dynamic targeting, dynamic ads, and dynamic messaging as we dig into the presentation in a few minutes. But the dynamic part means that it is they're dynamic to you and your business and the clientele that you want to attract and connect with and do business with. They're not static. We don't do this one time, and well, actually, in many cases, we can do it one time, but the way we do it, they remained dynamic. They remain dynamic, which allows you to continually generate results and be able to have this predictable, scalable type of business. The second piece of this phrase, appointments. Here's what we know. For most of you, that's really all you need to reach your sales goals is more appointments, because in talking with, we talk with many agents each and every week, and literally hundreds of agents last year, thousands maybe even. And, we hear time and again that you're great when you get in front of people, when you get the appointment. You just need help getting more of those. So that's what this process is focused on, is getting you more appointments. And acceleration, that's our proprietary combination of automation and manual follow-up through email, text, and phone, which will dramatically accelerate your results, like it has for Jim and many, many other people. So that's it. Dynamic appointment acceleration, and we're going to break it down as I said. So you might be wondering, will this work for me? Well, if you're a new agent, let me provide some motivation and encouragement to you. These are screenshots from 2 relatively new agents. Damien says, so as a new agent who's been in the game for 4 months, I'll say, wow, I've only been running what I've been taught for a few days, and I've already got 2 buyers for next year. This was taken just a couple of months ago. A seller and a ready-to-go buyer. I'd say 4 hot leads out of the 11 I've gotten in this short amount of time isn't too shabby. Thank you, Client Alchemist. I was hesitant about investing, but I'm glad I did. I love that word investing because that's really what this is. Zach says, Client Alchemist has completely changed my business as a newer agent. Our office paid for leads, from a very popular site, and very few of them even wanted to speak with an agent. I went from basically no leads at all to having leads flowing in every day. It's been extremely helpful, and it's super easy. This is from Ron, and this is a great one because if you notice here, it says first lead equals first appointment, and he's actually got the address of the person there, but we kind of blurred that out. Needs to downsize, needing to go CMA after I meet an appraiser this AM. Good job, guys. That's pretty cool, right? Greg says, had my first closing yesterday from a lead from a seller offer post and hopefully a listing in a week or two. Client Alchemist, that's what CA is, and everyone there rock. Thank you. Elaine, just finished a call with a seller. He responded to my just sold ad. We've been exchanging emails for about a week, and now I have a listing appointment with him on Monday. Yay. Jolene, first listing closed today due to Client Alchemist. Thumbs up, smiley face. Thanks, guys. And that was a listing that was listed at $219 and actually sold over asking with multiple offers. Daphne, this literally just came in. It's been a while since I ran ads, but I started again with a just sold lead ad and adding the automated texts in LionDesk, and we'll get into that in a couple minutes. Game changer. I already had 2 appointments last week with people who are selling later this year and told me that they will call me before anyone else. And tomorrow I'm meeting with a developer who's building several homes. He called me because he loved the ad and liked that someone besides him is thinking outside the box. Really good stuff. Gary says, just closed on my first CA listing yesterday, $565,000. This was my 5th lead that came in, been on board with CA, Client Alchemist, for 2 months. Now, what about this? With this process, you might end up with too many leads. That's a better problem to have, or too many listings. That's a better problem to have than not enough, I'd say. Jacob says, hey, Jeff and Josh, I've gotten more listings than I ever had thanks to you guys. So many, in fact, that I had to turn down my marketing budget until I catch up. That is a good problem to have. So we're going to go ahead and dig into Jim's results. But before we do, I just want to share with you a word of caution. This image, I apologize. It was the best image I could find of someone being lost in the weeds. And here's what I mean by that. I don't want you to get lost in the weeds of trying to think about how to do these, how to implement what I'm about to show you and walk you through, okay? Don't get lost in the weeds. I just want you to be open to the opportunity, because I'm going to give you an opportunity for us to transplant this entire process into your business. And in fact, if you asked Jim, which we asked Jim, he really didn't even know what was going on. All he did was simply follow up with the people that were responding to him. He didn't need to know all the intricate inner workings of how everything works, how to set up the dynamic audience, how to set up the dynamic ads, how to set up the dynamic messaging. He didn't even care. It didn't matter. All he had to need to do was to know how to respond to emails, respond to texts, and respond to phone calls. And when those aren't coming in, what to do about that. Super simple stuff. So don't get lost in the weeds like this lady. All right. Dynamic targeting. So the next couple of screenshots are the audience selection, the audience targeting for Jim's buyer campaigns, his dynamic appointment acceleration buyer campaigns. Okay, so notice it's everyone in a specific location. And for some of our clients, that's an actual city or town. For some of them, it is a specific zip code or zip codes in a specific city or town or county. That's part of this dynamic process in nature, and you get to choose that. Now, one of the biggest problems or issues that we see for folks is they try to go too broad of an area. They want to try to cover an entire county or an entire metropolitan area. You are much better served, much better served going an inch wide and a mile deep instead of going a mile wide and an inch deep. And in this case, Jim is going an inch wide and a mile deep with the target audience of Newport Richey, Florida. Okay, so the targeting we have like 3 levels. Number 1 is the geographic targeting. So in this case, Newport Richey. The next one is the demographic targeting, age and gender, things of that nature. And the last one is interest targeting. And we have a specific formula or criteria or set of interests that we use to identify, A, who are the most motivated, interested people in buying or selling real estate in the near term, right? Who are motivated right now, and then excluding people that maybe don't fit. Or in this case, we're excluding, well, in every case, we're excluding people that might also be real estate professionals because we don't want to waste our time and money putting campaigns in front of them. Now, this is our very, very most basic level of targeting, which for most of you is going to work fantastic. But there are additional interests and layering of interests that we can do to get really granular with this dynamic targeting, okay? But I wanted to keep it simple for us here. Now, the next 2 screenshots are for his dynamic appointment acceleration seller campaign or listing campaign. And notice a big difference is this drop down right here. We're selecting, in this case, only people who live in this location. With the buyer side, we're doing everyone in this location. With the seller side, we're choosing people who live in this location. It's a little thing that can make a big difference in the performance of your campaign. And then we have our additional interest targeting, etc. Now, demographically, you can and should marry it to the type of clientele, the potential clients that you want for your business. So if you're looking to attract and connect and do business with people that are downsizing, well, then you may change this age range to 50 to 65 plus. If you're looking for first-time home buyers or move-up buyers, you may change it to 25 to 40, right? There's no right or wrong answer with this, with that component. It's just what makes most sense for you and your business. Now, there are some absolutes in the way that we do the targeting and the way that we create the ads and so forth, but specifically the type of client that you want to do business with, that is where you have control over that. You get to choose, and that can be a really powerful thing. One of the invisible benefits of doing business this way and building a predictable, scalable business and getting to the point where you're like Jacob, where you have more listings than you know what to do with, is you get to choose who you do business with, right? And you can say no to potential clients that you know aren't a good fit. Now, how many of you listening, and you can let me know in the chat, in the Q&A, how many of you have ever moved forward or begun to work with a client that you knew in your gut was not a good fit? You knew they weren't, that it wasn't going to end well. You knew in your gut that you should say no to this person. You should refer them to somebody else, maybe somebody else in your office that you don't really like that much. I'm just kidding, sort of. But I would be willing to bet that most of you have had at least one instance of that happen in your real estate business where you knew in your gut this was not a good fit. I should not be. But in most cases, you move forward because you don't know where that next client is going to come from. And that's one of the greatest benefits of having this type of process in your business, is that you don't have to worry about where your next client, where your next commission check is going to come from, right? You just focus on the process and the results happen naturally. And it gives you power in your business. It gives you confidence. It gives you peace of mind. All right, so dynamic targeting. That's kind of the long and the short of it, right? Now let's dig into dynamic ad campaigns. And I'm just going to take a drink, a sip of water here. So the way we create campaigns is in such a way where we can create one ad campaign and they will dynamically show to the audience that we select on multiple different platforms. Really powerful and really easy to do when you understand some basic principles and you know what buttons to push and what not to push, that kind of thing. So these are just some screenshots of Jim's actual ads for his dynamic appointment acceleration buyer campaign, or accelerator buyer campaign. Okay. And the offer is simple and straightforward. We have multiple different kinds of offers on buyer side, but in this case, Jim is using the what we call our price reduced offer. Get a free weekly list of new Port Richey price reduced homes available right now. Just click learn more below, and you can see we've got these on Instagram, on different platforms, and these populate dynamically all and sort of follow around our perfect target audience, right? Or our dynamic targeted audience. And let's take a look. You know, we'll switch gears here because many of you want to know that's great. The buyers are great. We love buyers, right? But how can we get in conversation and get more listings? Right here. So here's some screenshots of our dynamic ads on the seller side. And pretty simple and straightforward, but it works like gangbusters. Curious what homes are selling for in your neighborhood? Get a free weekly list of all just sold homes in your new Port Richey neighborhood. Just click learn more below. You know, a way we can rephrase this one is, curious what your neighbor's home just sold for? Question mark. Get a free weekly list of all just sold homes. Pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, so that's it, right? That's the dynamic ads that are working great. They're working great for Jim, and you saw many others as well. Now let's talk about the dynamic follow-up process. And there's really a couple of different pieces to this. Number one is the time frame. So we need to make sure that we have immediate follow-up, an immediate follow-up plan, a short-term follow-up plan, and a long-term follow-up plan. And we need to make sure that we're using both automated and manual follow-up. And I'm going to give you some examples of that in a minute. But you have to make sure, if you want to get the absolute maximum results, the absolute best results, you have to make sure that all these pieces are addressed: the immediate, the short term, and the long term, and then the automated and the manual pieces. So this is a screenshot from a CRM that we have had a great relationship, one that we recommend and have recommended for many years. It's called LionDesk. Now, you can do this type of thing with many different solutions, okay? But I just wanted to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So this is one example of a dynamic automated follow-up sequence, okay? Where it's a series of emails that are sent automatically. You don't have to think about it at all. It happens whether you go to work today or not, whether you're with a client or not. And so I'll just break them down here. So this email goes out immediately after someone opts in or requests information or connects with us. This one goes out on day one, which in this case means like a day later. This one goes out on day two, which in this case means 2 days later. This is the automated recurring. Okay, so then it would go out every week, giving them the thing that they opted in for. In this case, their updated weekly list of all the just sold homes in their area, in their neighborhood or in their zip code, that kind of thing. And then notice we also have some intervals here that go out. And, well, you know what? I'm going to save that thought. I'll dig into that thought in a couple of minutes. But I want to share another example, okay? So this is an example that has a combination of text and email. Again, these are all automated. You don't have to think about this process at all once you have it set up. And this one, again, combines automated text campaigns and automated email campaigns. So this one is the text message that goes out immediately. It says, "Hey, so-and-so," first name. This is so-and-so, your name. Thank you for checking out homes on our Facebook page. Would you like me to send you a free analysis of your home so you know how much it's worth right now? Okay, something simple along those lines. And again, I'll get into some specific best practices to follow with your follow-ups, whether they be automated or manual, in just a minute. So there you have it. You want to make sure, and again, I promise you, you're going to have the opportunity for us to transplant this entire process, including all the scripts, everything, into your business, for those of you who are interested, at the end of our time today. Now, let's talk about dynamic manual follow-up, okay? And this can happen in two different ways. Number one, manually following up individually, which we recommend that you manually follow up with every individual prospect that comes into your pipeline. And at least once, and for many of you, more than one, 2, 3 times. But you can also, and should also, manually follow up one-to-many. So once you've built a database, and by a database, I mean more than 2 people, you can actually send them a broadcast. That's what we call a broadcast email or text, one-to-many. So you can craft one message and send it to all of them, all of the folks that you're not already in conversation with, that you haven't already set an appointment with. And incidentally, by appointment, we don't only mean a listing appointment or a buyer appointment. It may be an appointment to follow up with them next week or next month, whatever the case may be, right? So that has multiple different layers. Anyway, this is an example right from screenshot right from LionDesk of how you can craft a manual follow-up broadcast email. Okay, hi, so-and-so, first name. I wanted to share this with you. The seller's motivated, blah, blah, blah. This is an example of promoting a specific listing. This is what we would call like a buyer referral offer type of email communication, okay? And incidentally, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this sooner, but these campaigns that we create, when someone responds to these campaigns and they come into our pipeline, every single one of them comes in with a minimum of their full name, their primary email, and their primary phone number. And the data and the way that we set up this process is virtually 100% accurate. Meaning you're not going to get like Mickey Mouse, dude at mickeymouse.com. You don't get any bogus data, okay? Every once in a great while, the information's bad, but it's virtually 100% accurate. And not only that, the primary phone number is 90 to 95% of the time their cell phone, okay? So I should have mentioned that sooner, but better late than never, right? So that's an example of sending a broadcast email follow-up. Here's an example of how simple and easy it is with LionDesk, and you can do this very simply and easily in a lot of other platforms as well, of sending out a broadcast text message. You simply select the contacts, and if you notice here, I selected 99 for this, and I kind of blurred out their cell phones, and you can literally just send them a text message. And because every person we're bringing into the pipeline, we have their first name, their last name, their email, their text. We can customize it to them and say, hey, Josh, this is so-and-so, or hey, Lisa, this is Josh. Just making sure you saw this. Or just curious, are you still thinking about selling your blank area home, your Newport Richey home, or your home in Newport Richey? Hit reply and let me know, or let me know either way, okay? Incidentally, that little text, if you got nothing else out of our time today, if you just send a message like that to all the leads that you have an email or a cell phone number from, you just do that, you are going to get massive value from the time today, because a simple message like that will get you massive response. All right, some important things that I want you to keep in mind when you're sending whether they be automated or manual follow-up communications. Number one, always keep your messages short and conversational in tone, and include a question and or call to action, okay? And questions are the easiest ways, or the easiest way to have that be a call to action, right? When you ask someone a question, there creates this internal pressure to respond. in most cases, a binary question is the best way to start a conversation. Okay. So, you know, so for example, the example I just gave, hey, Lisa, this is Josh. Just curious, are you still thinking about selling your home in Newport Richey? Let me know either way. By binary, I mean a yes or no question. And they can say no. And you can say, okay, great. Do you know of anyone else in the neighborhood that might be thinking about selling? Right? Or they say, yes, that's awesome. That's terrific. When could I come take a tour of the property and check it out? Okay. So having those binary questions to start the conversation. The second thing, be respectful of when you send messages. And this is kind of obvious, but you want to make sure to send messages. You don't want to be texting people at midnight, right? And here's another huge benefit of the dynamic appointment acceleration process. We can actually schedule when the campaigns run so that leads are coming into your pipeline when you choose. Now, most of our clients have them set up so that they're coming in between like 9 in the morning and 8 at night, and some have different windows, and some don't want anybody coming, any new leads coming in on Sundays for family or religious regions. And we can accommodate all of that with this process. It's another kind of side benefit that I thought I'd throw out here. Number 3, the goal is to start a conversation. That is the only goal, not to get them to buy or sell. You want to start a conversation so you can determine 2 things. Number 1, can you help them? Okay? Number 1, can you help them? Yes or no? That's all we're trying to do. Can I help this person? And then if the answer is yes, how and or when can I help them? That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get into a conversation so we can determine, is this someone I can help? And then how or when are they going to need my help? How or when can I best serve them? The 4th tip here, remember, you are the doctor diagnosing their situation, okay? You are the professional. Take the lead, right? Lead the conversation. Now, when you go to the doctor's office, who's leading that, right? They ask you questions. Well, what's bothering you today? And how does that feel? And what's your pain level? And blah, 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 right? They ask questions so they can get a diagnosis, so they can diagnose the problem. Too many times, I think we try to diagnose the problem before we even know what their situation is, okay? So remember that, to envision yourself as a doctor and lead the conversation once it begins, and do your best to lead with value, right? Do your best to lead with value. And then lastly, when you connect with leads, you get into a conversation with these folks, always decide on an agreed upon next step of action. Is it that you're going to text them tomorrow? Is it that you're going to call them tomorrow? Is it that you're going to meet later today? Is it going to be that you're going to follow up with them in 30 days? And in the meantime, they're going to continue to get the weekly updated list, right? And this is where there's no like perfect cookie cutter solution, because the decided upon plan of action is going to be specific to the information, their situation, and the conversation that you've had. Now, in some cases, you'll notice that there are patterns, right? So, when a doctor is diagnosing someone and this person has this particular situation, they're gonna, they may prescribe a certain type of medicine, right? Well, you can kind of do that as well, but you can't do that until you've had the conversation and you've been able to determine if you can help them and how and when to help them, okay? But you never want to end a conversation without that decided upon next step of action. And, a question we get asked a lot is, well, how do we know when it's appropriate to ask for an appointment? And my answer is, it depends, right? And I know that's a very nebulous kind of answer, but most of it's like when it's the next logical step, right? And in many cases, the way we set these up, they're going to be actually asking you. So you'll hear things. So what do we need to do next? Or how does this work from here? Or, we've been getting your communications and we're ready to list our home. What do we need to do now? Right? So you don't want to force that situation, because if you try and force it, you're going to push them away. But when you can implement these best practices, and this entire dynamic appointment acceleration process, what you're going to do is reverse engineer a process that you are attracting clients to you versus you having to chase and beg after them. All right, so we walked through this process, and now I have a question for you, and I'd like you to let me know. Would it be okay with you if I take the next few minutes and let you know how we can transplant this dynamic appointment acceleration process into your business? Would it be okay with you if I take a few minutes and share with you the package that we put together that will allow us to transplant that into your business? If you could, let me know in the Q&A, in the chat box, whatever the case may be. And I'd like to take a few minutes now to do that. And then, as I promised, we'll do Q&A at the end as well. So we've put together something that we're calling the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator Platinum Package. And here's what you're going to get today when you take action. And I apologize, I don't know why that's cut off at the bottom there, but it says, here's what you get today when you take action. Number one, you're going to get what we call the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator Concierge Setup Service. I just love saying concierge. Anyway, here's what that means. We are going to set up your very own buyer and seller Dynamic Appointment Accelerator campaigns for you. Like the examples that I showed you from Jim. We're going to use our proprietary process, and we're going to collect full name, primary email, and primary phone number from the most motivated potential buyers and sellers in your target area. We build out everything for you, the entire process, the dynamic targeting, the dynamic ads, the dynamic follow-up. And we do this so you can immediately start generating new opportunities, i.e. appointments. And so you won't have to worry about any tech hurdles whatsoever. Here's just a little bit of feedback we've gotten on these types of campaigns. Kathleen says, I got a buyer from my first ad and put the listing under agreement, had 10 conversations. Jeffrey says this, thank you, looking forward to gaining new clients. So far with your system, I've closed 2 deals worth over $1 million and a listing at 1.3 million with your techniques. Pretty good stuff. So that's the first thing you're going to get is the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator Concierge Setup. That is a value of $2,900, and quite honestly, we're probably undervaluing that. I know from talking with folks that many of you are getting calls on a regular basis from people trying to sell you all kinds of different things for 4 and even 5 figures. But we're going to set this up for you, and it's not going to cost you anywhere near that. The second thing you're going to get is what we call the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator online training system. And we're going to give you the exact process, scripts, and action plans from 2 of our most successful students, outlining what and how they're able to set exponentially more appointments than the quote-unquote industry averages. And these are just a couple of screenshots inside the online training system. We've got multiple training modules and all of the, so as you, in the members area, as you click on these different tabs, you would get different training tutorials outlining our best practices and the best practices of our most successful partners and private clients. Our a sales methodology that can help you with all of your sales, not just this process. And then swipe files of texts and emails that you can send for that dynamic manual follow-up. All right. And so Christian, this is from one of our guys, Christian. He says, new Facebook lead ad campaign I started 3 days ago. The leads just keep piling in. I got into 2 conversations already so far. And incidentally, Justin here, who's mentioned, Justin here, he's one of our most successful students. His team last year did over 300 transactions. And their team's primary means of growing their business from their not met folks is our process, the Dynamic Appointment Acceleration process. So you're going to get the concierge setup and the online training portal of outlining and setting this up for you, a total value of $5,400. Now, we have some bonuses as well. Bonus number 1 is you're going to get 12 months access to our Client Alchemist Pro coaching program. And this is a value of $2,364 because it sells normally at $197 per month. And you get 3 primary benefits with Client Alchemist Pro. Number one, you get our complete library of step-by-step action plans. Number two, and I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these. Number two, you get our live weekly office hours and unlimited access to the archives of these. We record every one and we archive them and make notes on what different things and topics were covered. And the third thing you're going to get is our private Client Alchemist Pro mastermind group. So let's break that down. Number one, the complete library of action plans. These are detailed step-by-step plans to help you leverage whatever assets you currently have or get started creating assets right now. They come with video instructions, step-by-step written instructions, screenshots, and more. And they can allow you to do a whole bunch of things like promote your listings to attract a flood of motivated buyers, turn old dead leads into clients with the push of a button, create and launch client-attracting branding campaigns and retargeting campaigns and more, plus a whole bunch of other topics and business-building activities and actions. You get instant access to the entire library, and it includes a boatload of additional scripts and templates that you can simply copy and paste to get results. Number two, the live weekly office hours. Every week, you'll have the opportunity to hop on a live virtual workshop where we'll start by sharing any updates and then open things up for Q&A or feedback of any kind. Plus, you'll get to see what's working right now for other client alchemists just like you. It's kind of like group coaching, but on steroids. And as I mentioned, all of our office hour sessions are recorded and archived so you can review as many times as you like. Number three, the private Client Alchemist Pro mastermind group. Just like a traditional mastermind group, it's all about sharing what's working and getting help with what isn't. Plus, you'll be able to network with and even refer business to other client alchemists all throughout the US, Canada, and beyond. In fact, that's one of the coolest things that I see happen in there is when our pro members are referring each other business. That is one of, that just warms my heart. Kathy says this, I've been with Client Alchemist for about 6 months. I've run 3 successful price change ads, over 100 leads. I text message within 3 days of receiving the leads. 5 new clients as of today, 15 that she has noted to stay in touch with who will be ready in within the next 6 months. The rest stay in touch with the exception of only 3 people have kind of opted out. That is pretty incredible. She says, wow, I agree. All right, bonus number 2 is you're going to get 12 months of unlimited support and marketing critiques. So on top of the Client Alchemist Pro, the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator setup, and the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator training portal, you're going to get unlimited access to our priority support, and our team is instructed to quote-unquote get their hands dirty whenever necessary so that you'll never get or stay stuck. Plus, you can submit any marketing or ad campaigns through support, and we'll critique and provide feedback. And because our members have found these to be incredibly valuable, we record and archive them for easy access. With our priority support and marketing critiques, you'll save a ton of time as well as save more of your hard-earned money. This is from one of our most successful students, Lisa. She says, thank you, Jeff. So far, so good. I've not even once felt overwhelmed through this process. I've been through many types of training before and have failed because in every case, it is assumed we realtors are computer science majors. Client Alchemist is everything a realtor needs, all wrapped up in a patient, super easy to understand, awesome support staff platform. Don't know how you guys do it. So we're pretty proud of the fact that we help and support and really truly care about our community. So here's what you're going to get: the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator concierge setup, the online training portal, 12 months of Client Alchemist Pro coaching membership, and the 12 months of unlimited support and marketing critiques, which brings the value of the offer that we have for you today to $9,552. Now, you might be wondering, will this help you? Well, I can tell you that it will if you have 0 listings right now, or tens of listings, or even hundreds of listings. And we have folks using this process in all of those scenarios. This will help you if you'd like to get more buyers on demand. It will certainly help you if you'd like to get more sellers and listings on demand. It will help you if you're sick of paying outrageous fees to lead vendors. Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com, Realtor.com, the list goes on and on. It will help you if you're sick and tired of cold calling, door knocking, or just generally chasing and begging after business. Let me phrase it to you this way. If all this did was help you never have to rely on cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, or buying leads again, would it be worth it? Would this, if all this did was finally help you build a predictable and scalable business so you never have to live commission check to commission check again, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it if it gave you more peace of mind, confidence, and the ability to choose who you do business with? Now, here's the deal. You're not going to pay $9,552 for this. You're not going to pay $5,000 or even $1,997 for this, which would still be an incredible deal for what we put together for you. Because right now, you can get started for just one payment of $997. And you can do that by going to clientalchemist.com/action. clientalchemist.com/action. We'll get that link into the chat as soon as we possibly can. But you can go right now and claim your spot at clientalchemist.com/action. Now, here's the deal. At this point, you have two options. Your first option is to do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which I'll explain in a minute, is 100% risk-free. Or the second option, which is to pony up this small investment today, and that's what it is, an investment into you and your business, compared to all the value you'll get in return, and just give it a shot. Because if we can't help you attract more clients and sell more homes, then we don't deserve your money, which is why we offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can sign up today, and if you aren't able to generate significantly more appointments in the next 60 days, just let us know, and we'll happily give your money back. And we don't care if it's day 59 with 23 hours and 59 minutes from now. We will happily refund your money. No questions asked, no strings attached. If you're not extremely happy with your investment, we'll offer you a prompt and courteous refund. So really, the only decision you have to make today is this. Do you think this is going to work? Can you see how it could work for you? Like it's worked for so many other clients that we've highlighted throughout today's presentation. And if your answer is yes, then just give it a try for 60 days. Try it out on us. Let us make good on our promise to you. The real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, if it does even half of what I've claimed on today's training, will pay for itself in no time at all. To confirm, here's what you're going to get. The Dynamic Appointment Accelerator Concierge Setup Service. The Dynamic Appointment Accelerator online training portal. 12 months of Client Alchemist Pro coaching. The action plans, the private mastermind group, the like weekly office hours, and more. And 12 months of unlimited support and marketing critiques. A total value of $9,552. Now, for those of you who are action takers, for the first 17 of you, we've got 2 additional fast action bonuses. Fast action bonus number 1 is this. You'll get access to a 5-week guerrilla marketing bootcamp, where in this 5-week bootcamp, we outline 5 different systems for attracting and getting into conversation with even more motivated buyers and sellers. And each of these systems cost you nothing, okay? These are free methods. It costs you nothing to implement other than a little bit of your time. And the value on this bonus, for good reason, is $1,497. Fast action bonus number 2 is Digital Messaging Mastery. And this is a full course on how to use direct messaging through platforms like Facebook and Instagram and even texting and take it to another level and even automate it. This is a program that if you went to our website, or you go to our website right now, you can buy it for $497. If you go to the product tab, it's for sale there for $497. But when you take action today, we're going to include this as one of the 2 fast action bonuses. So here's what you should do right now. Go to clientalchemist.com/action. clientalchemist.com/action. Fill out the safe and secure order form, and we'll get your welcome email out to you ASAP. That'll have instructions on how to get your concierge set up, your login credentials, and a whole bunch more, okay? With the fast action bonuses, the total value of our offer to you today is $11,546, but you get everything for just one payment of $997 when you go to clientalchemist.com clientalchemist.com/action. clientalchemist.com/action. Now, you might still be on the fence and wondering, and need, some more convincing, or, you're just not sure, even though I've shown you a bunch of screenshots of how this works and the results people have gotten. Well, if you go to clientalchemist.com/pro, you can check out a whole wall of videos and screenshots, etc., of people just like you who have gotten great results and have had a great experience, just like you can as well when you take action. And there's one in here in particular that I wanted to highlight. I already mentioned him once, and there are just so many of these, which is really why we do this. It's what keeps us motivated and enthused. But here's a long one. This is from Justin. I already mentioned Justin. Justin's one of the clients that we interviewed and documented his processes as part of the Dynamic Appointment Accelerator training portal. And this story kind of outlines, and there's a lot. The reason I point this one out is there's a lot that you can learn just from his story, and benefit you can from that. I need to get an update for Justin because it's been a couple of years since this. I do know that his team sold over 300 homes last year, and this is someone who just started selling real estate in 2010. Okay, now you may not have any desire whatsoever to grow a business to that size, and that's fine, because as I mentioned, we have people at every level. We have new agents just getting started. We have agents that just want to comfortably close 2 transactions a month, and do so in a way that creates freedom, both from a time and a financial perspective. There's no right or wrong answer here. Regardless of where you're at with and in your business, we can and want to help you. So with that, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. I appreciate those of you and your feedback and thoughts. Tucker says, will there be a replay? I'm just hopping on. There will be a replay. We'll get the recording out to you. It'll be later today or first thing in the morning. We realize, it comes with the territory, right? As real estate professionals, we're busy. Things come up. So we did our best to record this. We'll make sure to get it out to you ASAP. Great question from someone. Can I enroll with PayPal? The answer is absolutely you can. I know that we were trying to get that integrated directly onto the enrollment form. So if you see it there, great, you can use that. If it's not there yet, just use the chat box or email support@clientalchemist.com and say, hey, I'd like to use PayPal. Can you help me out? And someone on our team will get you the link to take advantage of this with PayPal. Okay, great question. Here's another one. Will this work in Canada? Does this work in Canada? And this is one that we often get. And the answer is unequivocally, without question, it works in Canada. And in fact, Justin's in Canada. This process, these principles, they work not only in different countries, but they work for different industries. So they're obviously tailored to buy and, helping folks buy and sell real estate, or helping you as a real estate professional find those folks. But we have clients all throughout US, Canada, and even beyond, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. This process absolutely 100% can and will. And in a lot of those cases, the results are even more dramatic. Not always, but in many of those cases. Absolutely. Good question. Let's see here. What about the automated email and text follow-up? I'm not sure what you mean, but when you take advantage of this offer today, right now, we give you all of the scripts, and we can even set it up if you use our recommended solution. There are many options with that, and we can help you in either case. But for the concierge setup of us doing it all for you, we do that with LionDesk because we've got a great partnership with them, and because their platform is wonderful and extremely successful for those that implement it. Someone says, yeah, I'm ready to get started. Okay, good. Just go to clientalchemist.com/action. Clientalchemist.com/action. I'll actually pull it up here. It is a safe and secure order form. We use a redirect link because this is it's a very long URL. You can use this form to get enrolled, and in a minute, yeah, there it goes. If you have any questions, you can use our little chat bot down here, or you can email us, support@clientalchemist.com. You can private message us through Facebook. However you prefer, we'll make sure that we address any questions or anything that you might need with regard to this. Let's see here. Yep, a few other folks asking about a replay. Yes, we'll get a replay out, as I said, later today, or worst case scenario, first thing in the morning, one or the other, but we should be able to get that out to you ASAP. Let's see here. I swear a lot of repeat questions. Let's see here. Awesome. Thank you so much. Good. What about the manual follow-up script? Yes, we give you a complete library of email and text scripts that you can literally just copy and paste and use for the dynamic manual follow-up process. You might have to tweak the city or the town. Obviously you're going to have to do a tiny bit of customization to fit your target audience, but you can literally just take them, swipe, and deploy at your will. Are the fast action bonuses still available? As far as I know, yes. Here's the deal. We'll make sure that we honor the fast action bonuses for those of you getting enrolled right now. So if you're not sure, just reach out and we'll make sure that you get those fast action bonuses, the 5-week Guerrilla Marketing Bootcamp, and the Digital Messaging Mastery program as well. We'll take great care of you for sure. Let's see what else. Looks like a lot of repeat and similar questions. Okay, I have a small team. Will this work for me? Absolutely. And so, in fact, Jim is someone that has a team, and who last year his team did about 67 transactions, and it was 16 million in volume. His goal for the next 12 months is 120 and 20 million in volume, 120 transaction sides. And there are multiple ways you can do this with a team. We can do the dynamic appointment accelerator process for your whole team, and you can kind of route the leads. Or some have, buyer leads going in a particular route and seller leads going a particular route. And some even have multiple dynamic appointment accelerator pipelines set up for different members of their team. There are lots of ways that you can do it. Now, we want to get one set up and going and optimized first, but that is a possibility for you as well. I'm a brand new agent. Will this help me? Absolutely. In fact, I'll go back and share these two stories were from brand new agents, Damien and Zach. Damien got his first 11 leads. He got 4 hot leads. And Zach says, I went from basically no leads at all to having leads flowing in every day. It's been extremely helpful and super easy. So really good stuff there. Will this work in my market? I don't know what my market means. But here's what we have found. This is literally working in every market we've ever tested it. Even in the most highly competitive, super high average price home, this process is working, has worked, and will continue to work. Does that mean that there aren't you know, there are definitely some little subtleties and some things that we might want to take into account with different markets, but absolutely. And then funnily enough, will this work in my extremely rural area? And the answer is absolutely. And in your case, a lot of times in really rural markets, our dynamic target audience is in many cases the whole county. And this is when we're talking about like really rural. And those campaigns work like gangbusters. It's fantastic. Where is the link to get enrolled? Again, it's clientalchemist.com/action, clientalchemist.com/action. Here's what I'm going to do for several reasons. I want to respect everybody's time, number one. Number two, I have some things that I need to attend to, but here's the deal. If you have or had a question that we weren't able to address, there are several ways you can get an answer. You can email our support at clientalchemist.com. You can just click on the link to get enrolled, and you can use the chat down here. You can send us a Facebook message, right? You can give us a call. Our phone number is at the bottom here, okay? Whatever is most convenient for you, we're happy to help. If you're not sure about us and our company, I would all the stories and the feedback, you can go to clientalchemist.com/pro and you can check out the feedback there. Just don't use this link to enroll because you're going to pay more than the special offer that we put together for you on today's training session. To confirm, once again, I will get the replay out later today or first thing in the morning. I'll also probably send the slides because usually a lot of folks are interested in seeing those as well. So I'll include a PDF copy of the slides. I appreciate you all for spending the last 60 plus a few more minutes with me. I would encourage you all to, here's what I'll leave you with. I want you to remember this, that everything in life really is a choice. And I'm going to put an asterisk around everything because obviously there are certain extenuating circumstances. But generally speaking, in business, you choose, right? And so you have the choice right now. And even choosing nothing, right, of these two options is a choice. And you're actively doing it, right? You're actively making a choice. What I would encourage you to do, and I would maybe say is this. Most of you right now, you know at a gut level whether or not this makes sense and whether or not you believe this can and will work for you. And if that's the case, just give it a try. Just choose to take action and choose to get our help transplanting this process into your business. So you then have the choice of when and who you do business with. So make a decision right now, take action, go to clientalchemist.com/action. Grab one of the spots. We can't wait to work with you and for you to be our next success story, our next case study. That's what motivates us and provides us with energy and enthusiasm. So thanks again. Take action right now. We'll look forward to welcoming you into our community real soon.